D&L Industries, also known by its ticker symbol DNL, is widely known as the largest chemical company in the Philippines and a leading manufacturer of customized food ingredients. Powered by research and innovation, the company manufactures various products ranging from food ingredients, chemicals for personal and home care use, raw materials for plastic and aerosol products. The company has a market capitalization of 26 billion pesos and employing 1,500 workers. DNL was founded in 1963 by brothers Dean and Leon Lau. Today, we're doing a deep dive into one of the most interesting manufacturing companies listed on the Philippine Stock Exchange, D&L Industries Incorporated. Let's get into it. D&L Industries is not your typical consumer-facing company. You won't see its name on supermarket shelves, but chances are you're already using its products every day. D&L is a specialty chemicals and food ingredients manufacturer. It supplies raw materials and customized formulations to industries like food and beverage, personal care, plastics, pharmaceuticals, and industrial manufacturing. Its business is mostly B2B or business to business, which makes it less visible but highly essential. The company operates through subsidiaries like Oleofats Incorporated, Chemrest Technologies, and GCI for food ingredients. One major milestone of the company was the completion of its Batangas plant, which significantly expanded its production capacity and export potential. Let's break down where DNL actually makes money. First is food ingredients. This is one of their biggest segments. They supply cocoa powder, coffee ingredients, and food additives. Their clients include major food manufacturers, meaning DNL benefits from consistent demand. This segment is relatively stable and defensive. Next is oleochemicals. This is where things get more interesting. Oleochemicals are derived from natural oils like coconut oil. These are used in cosmetics, soaps, and personal care products. With global demand shifting towards sustainable and plant-based chemicals, this segment has strong growth potential. Third is specialty plastics and chemicals. They produce colorants, additives for plastics, and industrial chemicals. This segment is more cyclical because it depends on manufacturing activity. Let's run through the financial performance of the company. The revenue jumped over 40% in 2022. This is driven by post-pandemic recovery and higher demand for food ingredients and exports. This shows how sensitive DNL is to economic activity. When demand rises, revenue follows quickly. Revenue dropped by nearly 23% in 2023. This was not random. It was mainly due to high raw material prices like coconut oil and slower global demand. This tells us something important. DNL is exposed to commodity cycles. In 2024, revenue grew 21%, while in 2025 there was a surge by another 36%. This is a strong comeback, and it's largely driven by export growth, expansion of its Batangas plant, and higher volumes despite volatile input costs. Here is the big takeaway on revenue. DNL is a cyclical growth company, not linear. You'll see big up years, occasional pullbacks, then strong recoveries. That's normal for companies tied to commodities and manufacturing. On the profit, 2022 was the strongest year in terms of profitability. But here's the catch. That level has not been surpassed yet. Net income fell by over 30% in 2023. This is due to rising raw material costs and margin compression. So even though the company was still generating revenue, it was earning less per peso of sales. There was a slight increase in 2024 and stronger improvement in 2025 by 10%. But here's something you should not ignore. Profit growth is slower than revenue growth. That means costs are still high and margins are thinner than before. Here is the big takeaway on profit. DNL is not a high margin business. It's volume driven, sensitive to input costs, and dependent on efficiency. It's crucial because even if revenue grows fast, profits might not follow at the same pace. DNL follows a 50% payout policy, meaning it returns about half of its earnings to shareholders. That's quite generous, especially for a growth-oriented company. In some years like 2023 and 2025, the company gave extra dividends. That's why yields spike occasionally. But be careful, these are not guaranteed every year. The yield is relatively high. At around 5 to 6% dividend yield, DNL has given higher dividend than many growth stocks and competitive with income stocks. Let's check the sustainability of the payout policy. With a payout ratio of around 50%, it is quite high but still manageable and dependent on stable earnings. If profits drop again, dividends could be affected. Here is a big takeaway on dividends. DNL is a hybrid stock, part growth and part income. But don't treat it like a pure dividend stock because payouts depend heavily on earnings and stability. Let's connect everything. What stands out in this stock are strong long-term revenue growth, recovery momentum in 2024 and 25, attractive dividend yield, and export-driven expansion potential. What to watch out are volatility due to commodity prices, margin pressure, and cyclical earnings pattern. DNL may be suitable for long-term investors, those who want both dividends and growth, and investors comfortable with cyclical businesses. But if you want stable and predictable dividends, then DNL is not that stock. DNL is known for being a dividend-paying stock, not extremely high yield but consistent payouts. This makes it attractive for income plus growth investors. So what can push DNL stock price higher? First is export expansion. The Batangas plant is designed for exports with target markets in China, Southeast Asia, and other global food manufacturers. If exports ramp up successfully, this could significantly boost revenues. Second is shift to high margin products. DNL is focusing on specialty ingredients and customized solutions. This improves margins over time. Third is sustainability trend. Global industries are moving toward plant-based chemicals and eco-friendly inputs. DNL is well positioned because of its oleochemical expertise. Fourth is Philippine consumption growth. As the Philippine economy grows, food demand increases and manufacturing expands. DNL benefits indirectly from this macro trend. Now let's look at the risk facing DNL. First is execution risk. The Batangas plant is a big investment if demand is lower than expected or operations are inefficient. Second is commodity price volatility. Raw materials like coconut oil can fluctuate. This affects costs and margins. Third is global demand dependency. Exports mean exposure to economic slowdowns abroad and currency fluctuations. Fourth is competition. DNL competes with regional chemical companies and global suppliers. Maintaining niche advantage is key. So is DNL a good investment? Here is my honest take. The bull case. DNL has a strong niche in specialty chemicals, high margin business model, export-driven growth potential, and consistent dividends. The bear case is that DNL growth depends heavily on Batangas plant success, not a fast-growing hype dividend stock and sensitive to global economy. DNL is best suited for long-term investors, those who want steady compounding growth, and investors who value fundamentals over hype. This is not a quick gain stock, it's a slow builder. To wrap it up, DNL Industries is a solid but cyclical company. It has a strong revenue growth, decent profits, and attractive dividends. But it's not a smooth ride. DNL is a fundamentally solid company with a clear growth path, but it requires patience. If management executes well, especially on exports, DNL could become one of the more reliable compounders in the Philippine market. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below which Philippine stock you want me to analyze next. See you in the next video.